Mitch, I just want to say that's a beautiful background. I don't know who designed that logo, but they're brilliant.
Thank you, sir. I'm just glad it's not backwards.
Right. That's an occupational hazard with this.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why would I want to mirror my screen? Who would want to do that?
While we're waiting, I don't know if you all know that Mitch is the artistic genius behind the new NERPC logo that he is proudly displaying behind him.
Kudos.
Thank you. Thank you very much. An edible arrangement is on its way, boss. All right. Oh, it's becoming a rhythm.
There it is.
Okay. I think I'm ready.
Sorry, I just blue screened again.
It's okay.
We have a new or a revised program that came out this morning. Is that true?
Yes. You mean agenda?
Agenda, yes.
Yeah, I've got that on. I got it loaded on here.
Okay, good, because I have that now too. I had just enough time between meetings to load that up. Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started? Before I shut down again, please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may hear a chirping. I think that's my computer from what I was told at the last meeting I was on, but so I'll mute from time to time. Also, I blue screened like 3 times already today, so Mitch is prepared to take over. So sure. First action today is the minutes of the November 10th, 2020 meeting. Do I hear anything?
Jay Nelson, motion to approve.
Second.
Who did the second?
Blossom.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, right here.
I see you.
Okay.
Any other comments on the minutes? Corrections?
Come in. I'm in a conference call.
Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? So moved. Next, we have public comment. I didn't receive a list of anybody who had public comment today, but we will afford anybody up to 3 minutes if they wish to comment. Is there anybody on the call or anybody on this board who wants to make public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to planning. The safety performance measure targets for 2021, resolution 2102, which is on pages 3 to 5. Scott Weber, please present the resolution.
Hi, thank you. So the resolution 2102, which you'll find on pages 3 to 5 on your agenda packets, refers to adopting the safety performance measure targets. It is necessary for NERC to adopt safety performance measure targets every year as part of our Federal Highway Administration requirements. Specifically, we have the option to either adopt the state of Indiana's targets or set our own targets. And we have 180 days after the state sets targets to decide. They set their targets on August 27th, so it is incumbent on us to make that decision. Based on the analysis of these performance measures, NERC staff is recommending that we adopt the state's targets, and the tables that you will see on page 5 of your agenda, it's actually page 7 if you're following along on the digital version, which Mitch has up on the screen here in front of you. You can see that this requires 2 changes to our planning documents. We have to change the NWI 2050 plan, and those changes are noted here. If you look,
Not before you come in.
if you look at the amended text column on the far right, you can see the state targets for the year 2021. For the number of fatalities, the state target is 817.3. And so in order to accommodate and scale that to our region, we've calculated that that would appear as approximately 90 fatalities in northwestern Indiana and our 3 counties. The fatality rate per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, the state target was 1.006. Scaling that to the trends that we see in our region, we would recommend that that be 0.776. The number of serious injuries, the state target is 3,311.4. Adopting that state target scales to about 421 in our region. The rate of serious injuries per 100 million vehicle miles traveled target is 4.088, and we'd scale that to 3.677. And the non-motorized serious injuries and fatalities, the state target of 393.6 scales to about 58 in our region. And then scrolling down a little bit, you can see the changes that we'd have to make to our fiscal year 2020 to 2024 transportation improvement program. Keep in mind that this program is obviously going to be replaced soon in April, hopefully, but this is still the transportation improvement program on the books. And if you look at the rightmost column here, we just simply adopt the state targets of the numbers that I mentioned earlier, and you can see where that would be on the page number in the document. So it is NERC staff's recommendation that the NERC full commission adopt these targets at their meeting next January 21st, 2021. Do I have any questions? Any questions on the safety performance measure target recommendation?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I think you're muted, Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I took it off because the chirping on my end. Do we have, we'll need an action today to make a recommendation for the full commission meeting next week.
I'll make a motion to recommend, this is George Topple, safety
George
performance measure targets for 2021, resolution number 21-02.
This is Kelly Wenger. I'll second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's do voice vote. Floor?
Want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
Floor?
Sorry, one moment, please.
Okay. I didn't know if you heard me.
All right. Sheila Brilson, Kevin Brightsky,
Yes.
George Topple,
Yes.
Jim Tunn or Mark Odell, Anthony Copeland or Frank Rivera, okay. Tom McDermott or Dean Button, Michael Griffin, Diane Knoll, Matt Murphy, David Wright, Blossom Maybon,
Yes.
thank you. Beth Schrader, Beth West,
Yes.
thank you. Robin Tillman,
Yes.
thank you. Nicole Barker or Kelly Wenger,
Yes.
Kelly, thank you. And Kay Nelson,
Yes.
that concludes roll call to 7.
Thank you. So moved. We'll make a recommendation to accept the safety performance measure targets for 2021, which is resolution 2102. Now we'll move on to programming. Transportation Improvement Program Amendment number 12. It can be, the public comment can be, gonna look at my own agenda here. Public comment report and project 6 to 46. Charles Bransky will present on the public comment and the draft changes. Charles?
Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to note that there was a mistake that was made on the amendment. It went out to the ICG and to the public for comment. It was labeled as amendment number 11. However, it's actually amendment number 12. Amendment number 11 was an emergency amendment for funding for the Northwest Indiana Commuter Transit District, or NICD. It wasn't until after a few days after the amendment was out for public comment that it was pointed out to me that there was a mistake. So again, this is amendment number 12 as shown, and that's correct. NERC held a 21-day public comment for this amendment from December 18th, 2020 to January 8th, 2021. This amendment and the list of projects were made available on the NERC website. No comments were received. NERC also sent the list of projects to the Interagency Consultation Group, or the ICG, for comments prior to putting these lists of the projects on its website. NERC received no comments other than one that mislabeling the amendment number from the ICG, and that approval was given on December 28th, 2020 or earlier. The public comment report, which you see listed, is on page 6 of the packet. Do you want me to continue, Chairman?
Yes, please do. I'm sorry.
Okay. This is for resolution 21-01, amendment number 12, which is on the pages 7 to 46. The amendment is, and then the resolution follows that on pages 47, 48. So this amendment comprises of 47 projects and covers fiscal years 2020 to 2024. There were 13 projects had local sponsors, and 34 projects were sponsored by NDOT. The breakdown is as follows. Burns Harbor reduced the funding and the scope of their trail project and added a right-of-way phase. Chesterton accelerated the construction of their trail project and added a significant amount of funds to their right-of-way phase. Construction is now in 2023. The city of Gary added a significant amount of PE funds to their 15th Avenue, 15th Street project. Hammond deleted the funds from their trail project. They believe they'll be receiving next level trail funding. However, please note that this project is not being deleted. Just the funds were brought down, were reduced. Hammond also changed the scope of another one of their trail projects, if you remember from a couple TPC meetings ago. And the funds are now going toward the Complete Street project. Highland finally gave NERC a DES number for a project that was awarded in the 2019 NOFA. So all that project was changing the project ID number or the DES number. The city of LaPorte combined a couple sidewalk projects and a couple paving projects, resulting in 2 projects being eliminated and the funds being transferred to 2 other projects. Lake County added a significant amount of funds to the right-of-way phase for their 45th Avenue project. Michigan City added a right-of-way crossing safety project. Portage added funds for the right-of-way phase of their Central Avenue project and additional funds for construction. And then the 34 projects from NDOT were broken down to the following. There were 15 bridge rehabs, 1 bridge replacement project, 5 pavement rehab or maintenance projects, 4 traffic safety projects, 3 intersection improvement projects, 1 intelligent traffic safety project or intelligent traffic system project, ITS, and 5 pipe rehab or replacement projects. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments for Charles? If not, we'll need an action. Do I have a motion to recommend Resolution 2101, TIP Amendment number 12?
Kay Nelson, I'll move.
Thank you, Kay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it. George Topple.
Any other comment or questions? Thank you very much, Charles. Floor, please do us the honors. Call roll.
Sure. Thank you. Kevin Brightsky,
Yes.
thank you. George Topple,
Yes.
thank you. Blossom Maybon,
Yes.
thank you. Beth West,
Yes.
thank you. Robin Tillman,
Yes.
Kelly Wenger,
Yes.
thank you. And Kay Nelson,
Yes.
thank you. That concludes roll call at 7.
Thank you, Floor. So
Thank
we
you.
will recommend to approve Resolution 2101. Thank you, Charles.
This is
We have
Beth Trader from Valparaiso. I joined late, but Valparaiso would vote yes to.
It is voting yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you for joining us. Now we'll go to topical committee reports. Do we have any of the topical committee reporting today? Start with Mitch. Do we have anything from PPP?
Yeah, 3PC, we met last week and we finalized the program, at least our recommendations of the scoring of all the trail and complete streets projects. And so those have been ranked accordingly and will be submitted to Charles for T-ROC and then TPC recommendation next month.
Thank you very much. We're hopeful to have everything in for the February meeting to discuss the NOFA a little bit more extensively. Do we have any other committees? Environment?
Yes, thank you. Kevin, this is Kathy Luther, and we had the EMPC meeting on last Thursday. And we basically did some interactive questions. We planned a quarterly schedule for this year, and also prioritized, we kind of brainstormed topics that the group was interested in pursuing this year, and assigned or volunteered champions to assist with coordinating those topics. And we'll be probably sending that out for other people who might want to participate who weren't in the meeting. So keep you posted on the schedule and the topics.
And when's your next meeting?
April 1st. And that is not an April Fool's Day joke.
First Thursday. That's why I had to ask. Anybody else with the topical committees at NERC? I didn't see anybody else on the list.
Sure, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Please.
Yeah, so the Surface Transportation Committee did meet last Tuesday, January 5th, and we discussed, pursuant to the T-ROC recommendations from their December meeting, that we discussed some of that were Tier 3 projects in the NOFA that were moved to Tier 2, so those were expansion projects. We discussed those projects and came up with a prioritization based on committee consensus or a committee recommendation. So that recommendation will be forwarded to be considered at the Technical Planning Committee in February. And our next Surface Transportation Committee meeting is not until, as we have it right now, is on May the 4th.
Okay. Last call. Any other topical committee reports? Any at all? Okay, let's go to planning partners. I'm not sure if we have any planning partners on.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we have a couple of reports. I'm going to start on behalf of Lori Cagle with South Shore Clean Cities. I'm putting up her report here. She's not able to join us. She is not feeling well, but I'm going to run through these as much as I can. But her deal with legislation, sustainable transportation saw big wins in the spending bill approved at the end of the year, including CMAQ, extending the alternate fuel tax credits and funding for the Clean Cities program, Partners for Clean Air scholarships. The Partners for Clean Air is offering up to 3 scholarships of $2,500 each to qualified high school seniors in the NERC region. Applications are open and due on March 31st. And we can forward this report as well when we put it in either our minutes or maybe a subsequent email to our TPC constant contact list. Volkswagen meetings and updates. South Shore Clean City is one of 4 statewide finalists, down from 13, selected by IDEM to submit an application to manage a statewide electric vehicle fast charging station network. It's due in March. The committee is meeting at noon Central next Wednesday, January 13th, and announcements of the latest round of DERA grant option winners will be announced. And there's a detailed link there, which we will send forward. Grant funding in 2020, South Shore Clean Cities secured $30 million in grant funds for sustainable transportation projects in NERC region in 2020. And through Volkswagen, Indiana Office of Energy Development, US EPA DERA funding, and et cetera. The projects themselves total $7.4 million. It's a huge win for the region, obviously. They have a webinar that'll be tomorrow, January 13th, 2021, starting at 1 p.m., a winter webinar series, medium and heavy duty electric operations webinar. It's a good webinar if you're interested in getting grant ready for EPA DERA grants. And Tony Mayetta from EPA Region 5 will be speaking. That's your link for registering for the event. Finally, annual surveys are available and due March 2nd. This is for any stakeholder in the region to fill out, showing how they are reducing petroleum usage, not just members or Green Fleet members. And then there's more here. Again, that'll be also sent out. We'll get this out via our mailing list because obviously some of this is time sensitive, and we'll get this out today.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you.
And Lori, we miss you. I didn't see her name.
Yeah, she's not well right now, and she thanks you for that.
We wish her well. Anybody else from Planning Partners?
Yeah, so I do. My name is Gabrielle Vitrunas. I'm with NERC, but I'm gonna just report on the activities that have been happening under economic development. So I'm the Economic Development District Coordinator, and NERC was recently designated as an Economic Development District in late 2019, so about a year ago, by the Economic Development Administration, or EDA. So we've received funding this past July to actually start performing activities under that designation. So the main functions of an EDD, or an Economic Development District, is simply to maintain and implement the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, or it's known as the CEDS. And that's a 5-year strategy-driven plan for regional economic development, and it guides the economic growth of our 3 counties. And so under this designation, we also have access to federal funds for economic development projects, which is a first for our region. So this is a huge thing, an opportunity for us. And this is for Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties. So any community, any institution of higher education, nonprofit organization, or Indian tribe is eligible to apply for EDA funds. And this is for projects for public works, which includes infrastructure, water, sewer, road projects, as well as economic adjustment assistance. So these projects, just to keep in mind, they have to be consistent with that CEDS document that I had mentioned. So if anyone has any questions, communities have questions, they can just go ahead and contact me for more information. And just help you with sort of your project development. And another sort of major thing that we're undertaking as well is, in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, EDA awarded NERC 2 CARES Act grants. CARES Act, or known as the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Grant. We received about $1 million for our district, so that are for our 3 counties. To essentially help with economic recovery. And so what we're doing with that, we have 2 sort of initiatives we're working on. One is a grant for $400,000 to sort of respond to the pandemic. And with that, we are developing an economic resiliency plan for the region. We've been able to hire additional staff to help with capacity and helping with just the overall helping communities. So, and they are actually on this meeting right now. Just want to introduce Denneray Kane. She's our economic development specialist. And then Lucas Eklund Baker, and he's our communications specialist. And with that funding, we've also been able to purchase laptops for staff. And so the second grant that we received from EDA was a revolving loan fund program. So we are establishing a regional revolving loan fund for Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties to essentially help any businesses that have been impacted by the pandemic. So a way to assist them with recovery. And so that program, we're hoping to launch it very, very soon. So just keep your ears and eyes out, because we'll be working on that soon. So just a kind of a quick recap of everything under economic development.
You're not ready to receive grants yet, but you're going to post this on our NERC website at that time. You're getting real close from what I understand.
Yes, we are very, very close. So once we have it all ready to launch, yes, it'll be distributed, it'll be on our website. So yes, the word will be out.
Okay, very good. Any questions for Gabrielle?
Chair, this is Kay Nelson. Congratulations, Gabrielle, on the steps that have taken place, and welcome, Denneray. I see you in the background there. Just out of curiosity, the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan, or the CEDS, when does that have to be renewed or updated?
Sure. So the SEDS has to be, updated every 5 years. So our last update was late 2018, 2019, so not till 2024.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Gabriel? If not, do we have any other planning partners? Or anybody to report for somebody else? Pardon?
This is Kelly Winger. I'm not a planning partner, but real quick, I'd just like to make everyone aware in case they got tied up during the holidays and didn't see, Nixie has been awarded full funding grant agreements for both our double track project and the Westlake extension. Yep, everyone cheer now. It's been a long time coming. In fact, the Westlake extension started back in the early 80s at NERPC. So yay region.
Yay team.
Yep, and it's made the newspapers. So for those of us who still read newspapers.
Right. We barely squeaked out getting that double track full funding grant agreement before the news started focusing on the Capitol.
Yep.
Exactly. Before Elaine Chao resigned, that was, I think, one of her last acts. So very grateful.
Yes.
But I'm sure everyone's also seen the new Director of Transportation is from South Bend. Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg is there, which is fabulous because he is a big champion of public transit.
I have already told our my counterpart at MACOG in the South Bend area that I hope he has trained Mayor Pete well, so that more will come this way.
I don't think he needed to train Pete. Pete's just an all-around good guy, so in my opinion. But do we have any other reports? How about other business, staff announcements, and upcoming meetings?
Kevin.
Yes.
This is Kay Nelson. I was competing with Kelly. I knew hers was bigger. I just want to kind of provide some background for the folks on the call as to how the 2021 legislative session is going to take place.
Please.
As you all know, it started last week. Each legislator was allowed to create 10 bills and be co-author on others. And so we have many bills that are still being dropped as this week progresses. If you've gone on to watch any of the House or Senate activities, you'll see that the Senate is still in the Senate chambers. They just kicked the media out of the upstairs, and that's where a number of senators, including Ed Charbonneau, have been relocated. The House, on the other side, they're in multiple room locations, so you get to pick and choose which camera you want to watch when they are in session. As the committees go forward, they have been, along with House meetings, they've been regulated to Government Center South, which is right across the courtyard there from the State House, so that they can accommodate the members of the committees in rooms that provide for the 6-foot social distancing and masking. There will not be in-person testimony. If you are in the Indianapolis area, you can go to what I'm referring to as a TV studio in order to be live on camera with the committees for providing testimony. Sadly, back in April of last year, when the state was doing Zoom meetings, someone decided to expose themselves. So Zoom meetings and testifying via Zoom is not going to be an option. So written comments will have to be submitted. It is the committee chair's decision as to whether or not they will or will not read written comments into during the committee meetings. As such, it's critical if you have issues that you find your best avenue for getting your points across to members of our delegation that sit on various committees or maybe the bill's author or co-authors. It's going to be a challenge. They don't read all the bills, let alone be able to have time to read all the comments that are going to be provided in writing. So we are all going to have to be very creative and very aggressive in a positive way, but very aggressive to assist our delegation and legislators at statewide on building and going forward. Predominantly any bills that are being introduced that have a fiscal impact will be extremely challenged to move forward during this session. Indiana is required to have a balanced budget, and COVID has made a mess of budget balancing. Bill introductions that have fiscal impacts won't be looked on favorably for the most part unless they are very critical to the recovery from COVID. I think that's it. I look forward to working with the NERC legislative team. Is that still being chaired by Mary Tanis?
Actually, it's been Charlie Brown, but I don't know what'll happen in 2021 yet.
Okay, just keep me posted, Ty. And I'll answer any questions if anybody's got any, but otherwise, hang on to your hats, folks. It's going to be fun.
Appreciate you watching that and giving us some direction, because this is certainly a very unique session. It's confusing enough to keep track of bills as it is, let alone with this new normal.
Yeah, there are 2 transportation bills that I'm trying to get a handle on. I'll probably send them over to Charles and others there to just kind of ask you guys, because you guys all know trucks aren't my thing. So I might need some input from you.
That's really helpful, Kay. Thank you.
So do we have any other business, staff announcements, or upcoming meetings that people would like to announce? I will announce that NERC is having its finance and personnel meeting on January 21st at 8 a.m. prior to the full commission virtual meeting on the 21st at 9 a.m. Any other business that needs to come before us today? Ty, Mitch, are you good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
And then I'll just call for an adjournment. The next meeting at TPC is scheduled for Tuesday, February 9th at 10 o'clock. Look forward to the day when I see you all in person.
Amen.
Maybe here, Chairman.
Agree.
And not count on miracles. I can't believe I didn't blue screen during this meeting.
The TPC miracle.
That's a good sign for the new year.
From your lips to God's ears. Thank you all so much. We're adjourned.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
So long.